Right, I've just got back from trading, so I'll say training, should I say. So I'm a little bit jumping straight onto this. I'm going to give you a trade recap. Now, we did a trade recap the other day, and I spoke about how ridiculous it is that people have multiple trading strategies and nobody knows whether they're coming or going. So I was showing you what I did, and then somebody was like, oh, a typical, not showing me what you got on the profit, or did you enter the trade? There's always one. There's always one. And if you know me by now, there's two things that I keep private, and this is very, very wise, and I think you should do the same: your money and your sex life. And if you do that, you can have a very peaceful and enjoyable life. And the reason being is what people don't know, they can't speak about. But today I'm going to show you an evaluation, because I'll never show you my private. As I said, two things you should keep private, of the quick in and out or whatever it may be, or whatever, so you can see that for proof as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do these trade recaps for you as well, to incorporate that into our already really successful YouTube channel. We hit 17,000 today thanks to you, the viewers, so big shout out to you. I'm going to go over to the charts, show you a trade we took into the community, show you that I told everybody I was going long on that trade, and then you can figure out where all the profits are and all that yourself when I show you. All right, keep it very, very simple. Right, let's jump over to the charts. All right, well, first things first, you can see here, this is the journal that I send out to everyone. You can see here that this is a trade that we was looking at. I'm going to break this down for you of why I got into this trade, just so you know that I put it into the journal. And you can see here it's very, very clean. This is what I'm going to show you right now. So that's that. And then before you know, let's go into here. You can see multiple entries. You can see here, this is what I don't, 29th or the 30th, whatever day you're watching this. Multiple in and out, taking out, take it out, take it out. I take partials, and you can see that that's a little bit of a winning streak over the last couple of days. If you're one of those really, really busy, you want to know what people earn and you want to know all their life, then there you go, work that out for yourself. I don't do none of that stuff, and the reason I don't do none of that stuff, I can tell you why, because I don't need to do none of that stuff, because in my personal opinion, I don't need to sell you anything to obviously market myself with all this money and all this stuff. If people are insecure and they make money and they have an ego and they want to do that, then they can do that. But you're not going to get that right here. Now that that's out the way, let's go and show you the real stuff, the stuff that you should be interested in. Okay, where should we go? We'll go up here. There we go. We'll go up here. Right then. In fact, no, we'll go down here because I think that bar might be in the way. So what have we got here? This is yesterday's trade that we was looking at. You can see all the dates, etc. I'm not going to go over that. If you want to go and see the dates and all that kind of proof and waste your time, then you can go ahead and do with that. So what I'm looking for when I come into the market, it's all very, very simple. I'm looking for zones and areas that I can take advantage of. And for me, it's a previous daily high and a previous daily low, and the Asia high and the Asia low. So this is 1220. On the Monday. And what I want you to take look at is the Asia sessions. Okay, so I like to trade Asia session highs, Asia session lows, and you can see that in the morning we broke above the Asia session high. Now, a lot of the time I want to see reversals from that high. Okay, so I look for price to be coming back down into this range. But what we did is we broke away from that range. So what this then does, let's get rid of that. What this then does is it makes this Asia high possible SR flip. So from resistance to possible support. That's what I'm looking at right now. And from what I'm looking at is, can I possibly come down, sweep the Asia high, get a confirmation, and get back into the trade? And what I'm looking for is a candle formation. I trade the precision stack. Number one, I look for framework. Number two, I look for a candle formation. Three, I look for what time of the day, the time, the flow. Then I look for more confluences. Then I look for risk management, and I execute the trade. Very, very simple way of trading, and it's great for our students. Now, if I go over to here, you can probably see, let's still see here. This was what I was looking for. We broke above. I was looking for either a short from that buy side liquidity or a long from the Asia high. That's exactly what I was looking for. And you can see here, this was the trade that we took in the group. So going back over to the chart, what was I actually looking for? Well, let's play and I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a level to be manipulated. Now, if you see this just here, we spike. Let's get rid of that. We spike into the zone that I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for this zone, remember, okay? Let's change that to one of my nice greens, okay? This is what I'm looking at. And then I get what I'm looking at. This is me, my formation. I'm looking for a trade. That's what I'm looking at. Are the buyers interested in the market? Yes, they are. Then what I'm doing, I'm looking for a simple position. This one, I didn't want to wait for a retest, so I looked at that, and that's going to be my target. Once I then play that, you will see that eventually it does what it needs to do, and it plays out, and it runs for the rest of the day. Now, I like to keep my trading very, very simple. You can see it just continues and does whatever it needs to do. I like to keep my trading very, very simple by going through those methods. And I did a video the other day in relation to you should be simplifying your trading. You should not be messing around. You should be simplifying your trading. And the last video was you need to be stupid. You need to dumb down. Now, a lot of people like that video because the more complex you make things, the harder they become. And that's why in trading, you must simplify it. Because if not, and you want all these indicators and you want turtle backflip, mermaid aerial soup or whatever it is, it's probably going to be too hard. You're probably going to get bored. And are you going to stay in the game for long enough? Now, it's not to say that these things don't work, because the majority of things work. Everybody has a different edge, but you want to make it as easy as possible, enjoyable as possible, but not via a dopamine hit. Trading is boring, but can you make boring good? That's the question that I'll ask yourself. Can you make boring good? I live a very, very boring life now compared to my old wild days, but I'm never bored. Never, ever bored. And one is a good tip, what I told you at the beginning, the two things to keep private. If you keep those two things private, people, you can have a very, very peaceful and enjoyable life. And if you add trading simplicity to that, you're going to be able to rack up $800-900 a day across 4 or 5 accounts. We're talking $3,000 to $4,000 a day. Now, it's not going to be like that every single day. And no, I'm not going to pass your challenge in 30 days. That's not going. And no, I'm not going to sell you signals because you don't know my edge, and that would never work. But what I do have a very, very good program that will help you on a one-to-one basis. It's not for everybody. Of course, it's not for everybody. But if you need help with that, that is there. That is a shortcut for you to get where you need to get to. And of course, there's a link below. Come on, we always need links. We run a business. Of course, there's a link below if you want to jump on a call with me to make this happen, to simplify your trading, to take it seriously, not be fixed mindset. Don't worry about what the world's doing and concentrate on what you need to do moving forward on your trading. We keep it very, very simple in our community. Let me go over and just show you about this morning. I think we had a trade this morning, was it? I don't think we. This is what I was looking at. Oh, and by the way, you could have got in New York as well if you went off the 100 tick chart, but that's more advanced. Okay, that is more advanced. And then somebody, we was looking at this, but it wasn't a trade idea for me. But we got a candle formation, we got an entry, and you would have got 30 or 40 pips. Not pips, points, and then we've tried to reject from the golden pocket. So there's many, many ways that you can do this. Many, many ways that you can do this. But for me, this is what's worked. I've been in this game for a very, very long time. This is what works for me, and let's see if it works for you.